Hey guys, this is Neil again from Heart of Texas Armory, and today I just wanted to do a quick tutorial showing you guys how I stipple my polymer frames on my handguns here. So what you see is a Taurus PT111 G2, which I've got a review on this. Actually just uploaded that. But in that review I had mentioned I wanted to stipple the front of the trigger guard here and a little bit underneath as well. And the reason I do that is because when I hold a handgun, I do wrap my finger around that front of the trigger guard, and I want that extra texture to give me better grip to hold the weapon. And I'm also going to go ahead and texture this little memory spot here, which, you know, I don't really need it, but I just go ahead and put it on there. That way I can feel it quicker and easier when I put my finger, when I don't want to have it on the trigger. Obviously you want to place your finger right up here, typically about like that. So I'm going to stipple that little section and also the underneath of the trigger guard. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to tape off a nice flat line, or straight line, excuse me, here, and then probably here. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and drop the magazine, and we'll make sure we are unloaded. So we just took all the ammo out. You can see there's nothing in the chamber. Nothing in the there's no magazine in the weapon. We are completely safe here. And I've got the magazine here off camera. I'm going to set it over here to the side. So completely safe firearm. All right, so let me go ahead and get some of this painter's tape, and I'll make a nice straight line. And on some of the parts that, you know, obviously when I'm stippling, I'm going to fast forward the film. That way you don't sit there and watch, you know, 15 minutes of me stippling. So just be aware that occasionally I'm going to fast forward to do that, and that's just so it's not as boring for you guys. So let's go about right there. And the reason I'm doing this again is just to give me a nice straight edge. So you can see I've put that tape across there, and that's where I'm going to start my stipple on that. And then I'll do the same thing on the front of the trigger guard. That looks pretty good there, and just make sure it's sealed. Now I'll pull the tape off once I start stippling. You know, I'm going to put that line in first here, and then also this line up here, I'll put that across, and then I know where the line is and I can remove the tape. What I'm using to do the stippling is just a little hobby, you know, toolkit soldering iron, and you see it here with that tip right there installed, and it's just a little brass tip with a point. And, you know, inside the kit, you've got different, you know, different tips that you can install if you want to do different sizes. So let me go ahead and start with the stippling here, and hopefully this will help you. I mean, it's really not that hard to do. As long as you got a little soldering iron like this, you can get it done. So like I said, here in a minute, I'm going to speed up the film. Occasionally I might slow it down and make some comments, but I'm gonna go ahead and start stippling here. Okay, so hopefully you can see that I've kind of established a line, if it'll focus, of course. Sorry guys. I've established a line across here, and then also on the front I've established a line. And the way you do this, you're basically just touching and releasing. You don't want to hold it for long. You're just poking, just like that. You don't have to be, you know, in the middle section here. You don't have to. It obviously don't have to be in a line or anything. It can be just completely random. But that hard line, I like to use that tape method, and that just gives me a nice straight edge there. So now that I've got that burned in, I'm going to go ahead and remove the tape just to get out of my way. Okay. And I'm going to start filling this out. So let me go ahead and start doing that. Okay. All right, I pretty much got it squared away here. I do need to touch up a little bit, so what I suggest you do, if I get my camera to focus, it doesn't seem like it wants to. There we go. You just look at it visually, and if you see any spots that need to be touched up, to go ahead and do that. And then what I like to do is on the edge here, you know, because it kind of frays over, I'll just quickly just pass over it like that. Just drag it over it, and that'll just melt any of those high spots or little stringy pieces of polymer that get, you know, that don't look good. Just kind of smooths it all. So I'll do that, and that will help with that. And then I'll do it over here. Again, just any spots you see that need to kind of smooth over. You know, this is not a professional job here that I'm doing. This is just a DIY. It's going to look just fine, but if you want it done more professional, you know, obviously you can send it somewhere, or just take a little more care and just do it. You know, take your time a little longer than I'm doing it. But for this is strictly a concealed carry piece. It already feels really good. Greatly improved the grip up here on that front of that trigger guard, which is important for me. So let's quickly look at it. Let me take it and just see if I see any spots that need touch up. Doesn't look like it. But let me take it off camera and look it up a little closer. I'll be right back. Okay, and now I'm going to start working on this section here. So I'll do that next. Okay, so you can see it turned out pretty good. So I got that section stippled now, and that's just gonna give you a better, you know, grip when you place your finger there, for basically for muscle memory. When you don't want to have your finger on the trigger, just, you know, you'll feel that, and you know, with training it just becomes ingrained in you. Plus, like I mentioned, it gives you the better traction. So overall, I'm pretty pleased with how this turned out. Hopefully this video helps you. Shows you how easy it is to stipple polymer handguns. It's really not that hard, guys. So you can obviously stipple a lot more. You can stipple the whole frame if you wanted. If you wanted to fill in all this section, you can do that too. There's a couple things I'll mention. Is one, you want to do this in a well-ventilated area, because obviously you're putting heat on polymer. You're going to release some fumes as that burns away. So just make sure you do that in a well-ventilated area. I'm in my shop here, and I've got an industrial building with industrial AC, so it moves a lot of air. But if you're at home, I'd probably recommend you do it outside or in your garage. That way you just get proper airflow through there, so you don't breathe too many of those fumes. Other than that, it's really simple. Just take your time. You can use different heads on your soldering iron, so you can kind of play around with different patterns. I just like this, I don't know what the actual the head of this is called. I don't know if it's just a point tip or what, but that's the one I prefer to use. I don't know if that's going to come out on camera or not. Hopefully it will. But that's kind of the tip that I like to use. It's good for everything that I like it. Good for everything that I use. But there's obviously different ones you can use if you want to play around with that. Anyways, I hope this video helped you. If you got any questions or comments, leave them down below. Y'all take care.